Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Like the person who's walking through a long desert, the, the feeling of relief and ecstasy he feels when he sees an oasis. Like the earth which is parched in the summer when the first rain arrives. In the same way, we feel very, very ecstatic, relieved, and very happy when we have the presence of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Maharaj had a very tiring day yesterday, but today again he has come here to give us his wonderful association and katha. So let us express our gratitude in our traditional style by loudly chanting 3 times. HariBol! HariBol! Hari! We also have the gracious presence of a very senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada, His Grace Vishwatamukh Prabhu. And we also have here His Holiness Sri Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj. So let us express our gratitude and love to them also by loudly chanting 3 times. HariBol! HariBol! HariBol!
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadhari Yashodanandana Prajachanaranjana Yashodanandana Prajachanaranjana Yamuna Chira Banachari Yamuna Chira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Yashodanandana Vrajachanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajachanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayom Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakacarya Asthotar Sutta Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakacarya Asthotar Sutta Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananti Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Si Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Navadvip Sri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Sri Dwarka Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Jato me kshitir varbhi Lavyamana rasam gata Atatra kim anusteyam Asmabhi sargayo jitai Yasyaham hridayad asam Sa isho vidhatatu me Srijato me kshitir varbhi Avyamana rasam gata Atatra kim anusteyam Asmabhi sargayo jitai Yasyaham hridayad asam Sa isho vidhatatu me Srijato me kshitir varbhi Lavyamana rasam gata Atatra kim anusteyam Asmabhi sargayo jitai Yasyaham hridayad asam Sa isho vidhatatu me Ladies, Vijita. While engaged in creation, may of me, Kshiti, the earth, Varbhi, by the water, Lavyamana, being inundated, Rasam, depth of water, Gata, gone down, Atta, therefore, Atra, in this matter, Kim, what, Anustayam, is right to be attempted, Asmabi, by us, Sarga, creation, Yojitai, engaged in, Yasya, the one from whose, Aham, Hridayat, from the heart, Asam, born, Saha, he, Isha, the Lord, Vidadhatu, may direct, may unto me. Brahma thought, while I have been engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by a deluge and has gone down into the depths of the ocean. What can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The devotees of the Lord, who are all confidential servitors, are sometimes perplexed in the discharge of their respective duties, but they are never discouraged. They have full faith in the Lord, and He paves the way for the smooth progress of the devotee's duty. Om Agyantimidandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurun Milidam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Yatati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Judha Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrachatam Sahakana Raghunath Anbitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Astakyate Satarine. I am sincerely grateful, honored, and very happy to be among all of you today. Prabhu, thank you for coming. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 13, entitled The Appearance of Lord Varaha. Text 17. In this brief but profoundly relevant, comprehensive, empowered purport, Srila Prabhupada is discussing how even the greatest, most confidential devotees of the Lord are sometimes perplexed in the discharge of their devotional service. But they are never discouraged. Because they have faith in the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada so beautifully tells in such words that this faith paves the way for the smooth progress of the devotee's duty. In Srila Prabhupada's own life, in 1922 at Ultadungi Junction Road in Calcutta, he received an instruction from his Guru Maharaj, Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to bring the teachings of Lord Chaitanya in the English language to the whole world. In fact, at that time, it was so inconceivable, it was so unbelievable, it seemed so unattainable. He presented arguments to his Guru that we're under British rule. Let's stand with Gandhi and get independence so people will respect our nation enough to hear from us. And at that time, Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada responded that the only solution to the problems in this world is actually Krishna consciousness. Understanding Krishna as the supreme proprietor, the supreme controller, and ultimately meant to be the supreme enjoyer of everything. And in forgetful of that, we're disconnected from our own souls. And consequently, we're potentially in conflict with nature and with all other living beings. The only problem is a lack of this Krishna consciousness. He was not speaking a sectarian idea. He was speaking the very heart of Sanatana Dharma in all of its forms throughout history. And if something's an emergency, then you really don't consider so seriously all the details that might be happening around you. You give your full energy to that emergency. At Bhaktivedanta Hospital, if somebody has a massive heart attack and they fall down and they cut their hand, they don't immediately start treating the hand. They go right to the heart. But unfortunately in the world, we're trying to solve problems on superficial, symptomatic level. But the heart of it all is we've forgotten that we're eternal souls, we're part of Krishna, we're eternal servants of Krishna. We don't see the world as Krishna's beloved creation. We see it as something for us to try to exploit, control, own, and enjoy. We don't see other living beings as Krishna's beloved children, part and parcels of Krishna. Like Prahlad Maharaj explained, we're seeing in terms of who is my friend and who is my enemy, who is for me and who is against me, who will help me enjoy and who is an impediment to my enjoyment. And on that basis, we create so many ideologies, so many philosophies, so many conceptions. So Srila Prabhupada took the order of his Guru Maharaj of his life and soul. But it must have been quite perplexing. He was just married a couple years before. He just had a baby son. He was just posted in an occupation, Bose Laboratories. And there was so much complication socially and nationally under the British regime in Calcutta. That was 1922. And then later, the end of 1936, beginning of 1937, his Guru Maharaj left the world. What a great ocean of feelings of separation from his Guru Maharaj he was thinking. And soon after that, his Guru Maharaj's mission faced so many challenges and divided in very many ways, and there was conflicts. And Srila Prabhupada explained himself that he was thinking, my Guru Maharaj is struggling so much for funds, let me build a big business and be able to fund him and all my God brothers and God sisters to do wonderful, wonderful things. And he was striving for that. But then after some years, his entire business completely crumbled. He was cheated and betrayed by people he entrusted and empowered. But he was not discouraged. When he was distributing back to Godheads in New Delhi, working so hard, writing the articles, laying it out, printing it, distributing it. He would get sunstrokes and fall unconscious. Once a cow or a bull stabbed him with his horns and left him laying on the side of the street. There was nobody to help him. Just trying to serve his Guru Maharaj's mission. Can you imagine in that state? No money, no help, laying on the side of the road. Nobody around. And yet, he was not discouraged. You can hear him. And then he wrote the books, Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, and had to raise the funds all day, all night, typing, studying, then trying to find sponsors to publish it. Getting donations from the publisher, going to Gorakhpur to get the help of Hanuman Prasad Podar from Gita Press and the Dalmia Trust, going to Srimati Mukherjee and requesting her to help with the publications. Then how to go to the West? Srimati Mukherjee refused to let him go on the cargo ship because she said, for sure you will die. You do not know where you're going. I know, I've been there. It's very cold, and you're very old. And she was speaking very bold. But Srila Prabhupada was not sold. And then we saw destiny unfold. He pleaded with her. He fasted. And then Jaladuta from the King George dockyards in Kolkata, the ship departed. In Cochin, the Srimad Bhagavatams and several wooden crates were brought onto the boat. And just a few days later in the Arabian Sea, he had 2 heart attacks. He had intense seasickness. And that was just the beginning of the voyage. And after that, he still had over a month of being on that boat. And sometimes Srila Prabhupada described all around just to see nothing but water for days and days and weeks at a time. Nothing but water. Sometimes there were storms. He said it was like being a little matchbox in the middle of the ocean. So totally vulnerable. And he arrives in New York City and gets shipped in the middle of the night to a little town in Pennsylvania, Butler. And he's in this little small town, staying in a little very, very, very cheap YMCA hotel, going to some people who were meat eaters and everything, going to their house to cook for himself and for them. How is he going to start a worldwide movement in that situation? But he was not discouraged. It's not that people were making arrangements. It's not that he had a public relations team who were setting up programs for him. He had nothing doing anything, no one. And then he decided to take a bus to New York City. And Sally Agarwal was so worried because she saw he was old and he was quite frail. And he was so peaceful person. How is he going to survive in New York City all alone and he has no money? She gave him a bag of coins to make some phone calls, to wash his clothes, and public laundromat. And then he came to New York. He was hosted for some time to share an apartment with a yoga teacher, Brahmananda Saraswati or Dr. Mishra. But they had very different philosophies. They had a very loving friendship, but very different philosophies. So he was not given any opportunities to spread Lord Chaitanya's message. And then for 6 months he was trying to get a building. He was putting his whole heart and life into getting this building in the Upper West Side. He was getting promises from people of India to help. But then everything fell apart. He couldn't get permissions for funds to be transferred. His donor said, we give up, we can't help you. And then the building was sold to someone else. And it's interesting, in Srila Prabhupada's diary, he describes how traumatic it was that after putting so much energy to have a temple there, it was lost. It was nothing. And he described himself. He used to go to the docks, to the Scindia cargo ship, to their little headquarters in New York City, and get the timetable of when the next ship would be going back to India, because he had a round-trip ticket. Another 38 days going back. He would go back to Vrindavan, and he could I tried. I gave my life and I tried. But let me return to Vrindavan. And he would consider going back. But in his incredible compassion, he stayed on. He just was not discouraged. And in many ways, he revealed the secret of how in his prayers on the Jaladuta. In this purport, it is showing how Brahma, who was the original guru, was our sampradaya, he was perplexed. But with his faith, he was not discouraged. He was carrying out the will of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada was carrying out the will of the Lord through his Guru Maharaj. And he writes, "My dear Lord Krishna, I do not know why you sent me here." That sounds perplexed, doesn't it? I do not know why you have sent me here. These people are so much covered by the modes of ignorance and passion. will they understand your words unless you speak through me your words, and unless you give them the power to understand your words, they will not understand. And he was praying to Krishna to speak through him so that all these people will become happy. Those were Srila Prabhupada's words. Because when the people are happy, Krishna's happy. And then Srila Prabhupada declared himself before God as a puppet. I'm your puppet. Make me dance. Make me dance as you wish me to dance. Your insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. In this beautiful verse today, what's leading it is that same theme of how great devotees face perplexing challenges. Not on the basis of their own intellect, their own strength, their own resources, their own connections, but on the basis of their faith in Krishna and their surrender to Krishna's will. It is in that willingness to surrender that they're not discouraged. Leading up to this story is several chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, describing Vidura. He was in a perplexing situation. He had such a pure, well-wishing heart. No one was his enemy. He was everyone's well-wisher. He saw injustices, and he was always trying to help the Pandavas. But he always did it with love and compassion, even toward the Kurus. He was always trying to help Dhritarashtra. He was even trying to help Duryodhana. But he was repeatedly being rejected. And ultimately he was violently insulted, humiliated, and forced in exile to leave his family, to leave his home, to leave all of his services. Duryodhana screamed at him, "You're the son of a kept mistress." Now that's quite painful for a cultured person to hear. He was not only insulting Vidura, he was insulting Vidura's mother. We are supporting you, we are feeding you, we are giving you everything, and now you have the deplorable state of mind where you are betraying us. And Duryodhana said, "You must leave this kingdom, and the only thing I will allow you to take with you is your breath." Now, what was most perplexing is Dhritarashtra, who Vidura loved as his brother and helped his whole life, didn't say anything. He sided with Duryodhana. He didn't stop this injustice. And Duryodhana left. with complete faith in Krishna, he was not discouraged. He knew that Krishna would pave the way for how he could best serve. And what a wonderful service. For years he just wandered alone from one place to another, to holy places, and all places in between the various holy places. And there's not much record of where he went and what he did. There's just some brief explanations. And ultimately, on the bank of the Yamuna River, he met Uddhava. And what was shared in their discussion became one of the most important sections of the Srimad Bhagavatam forever. Uddhava revealed his heart of his ecstatic love for Krishna, an ecstatic love for Vrindavan, an ecstatic love for all the devotees of Krishna. And then Uddhava told him, go to Maitreya Rishi, because he's senior to me, and he's also a great devotee, and I shouldn't be instructing you in the presence of a senior devotee. So in these verses, Vidura is sitting and inquiring from Maitreya Rishi. They were both in the same generation. Maitreya Rishi was a very close friend of Vedavyas. They were both rishis of that category. And here Maitreya Rishi is describing this event where the previous verse, Sri Maitreya said, thus seeing the earth merged in the water, Brahma gave his attention for a long time to how it could be lifted. Brahma thought, while I have been engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by a deluge and has gone down into the depths of the ocean. What can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. In other words, what was happening was beyond the power of Lord Brahma. He didn't know how to fix this situation. It was not only his duty, but his sense of compassion. Because all the people and all the species of life that he's created are all in the earth. His entire service to the Lord is about to be devastated. How to help? And we see this theme to be the very basis of the reason of why the Lord incarnates so many times. The prayers of great devotees. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu often would say that he descended into the world because of the loving prayers of Sri Advaitacharya. Advaita is also a creator. He's Mahavishnu. He's Sadashiva. He's one of the creators of the universe. But when he was seeing the fallen condition of the illusion condition, the way even the philosophy of the Vedas and the teachings of Sanatana Dharma were being misinterpreted and ill-practiced, what to speak of all over the world, even in India, what to speak of in India, even in Navadvip, the highest place of the learning of the Vedas in all of India. He saw such corruption. So much ego, arrogance, even in the name of Dharma. He saw thousands and thousands and thousands of people learning Sanskrit and learning Vedas and learning Nyaya and various aspects of the sciences of Vedic knowledge. But he didn't see hardly anyone with sincere devotion to Krishna. Chanting so many mantras and so many verses, but hardly anyone with devotion chanting Krishna's names, the Yuga Dharma. What is the use of life? He saw people who were very prosperous, very famous, enjoying so much prosperity, and he was crying for them. Because without love of Krishna, everything will perish. Our happiness is totally vulnerable to circumstances that are so often beyond our control. He was fasting. He was crying. He was offering Tulsi Ganga water to Shalagram, praying for Krishna to come to the world. He cared so deeply for us. And the most munificent, most merciful, most magnanimous of all incarnations, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. And even when he appeared, he's going to appear again in a few days, actually. It's Guru Purnima. Even when he appeared, it's not like all of a sudden all the lights went on. He disguised himself as a little baby. Then he became a pundit. And he was arguing and debating like everybody else. The devotees loved him. They couldn't give up his association, but they couldn't tolerate his association either. Because he was always entangling them in grammatical puzzles, challenging them. And then he began the Sankirtan movement. And it's not that everything all of a sudden became so easy. And the Chankazi was arresting everybody who he was telling. Srivas Angam, Srivas was always getting threatened and criticized and blasphemed by the Brahmin community. Then the Chankazi was sending soldiers, police, to persecute and punish anybody who was following Lord Chaitanya. But yet Lord Chaitanya, Srivas, Nityananda, all the devotees, they were never discouraged because they had faith. And even in the time of Krishna, when Bhumi approached Brahma and the demigods explaining her plight, they all went to the ocean of milk and they all prayed and prayed and prayed for Krishna to help them. And in response of the prayers of great souls, Krishna appeared. So we could learn in this beautiful reality of all these scriptural histories the power of devotees' prayers. It's the seed of the Lord's appearance. When great souls pray for us, when great souls pray for the well-being of the earth and the people on the earth, the people of the universe, that is the scenario in which Krishna responds. In this way, the prayers of a devotee with compassionate hearts are actually real blessing. When the great souls are praying for our souls, that is the true Ashirvad, the true blessing. Because there is no doubt that God responds to the prayers of those who are giving their hearts to surrender to Him. How He responds, we may not understand. But we have faith. It's always for benefit. It's not that when great souls pray for us that our bodies live forever and never get sick and nobody ever disappoints us. Brahma bhuvana loka punaravartanorjana namupetyat konteya punar janmana vidyate. From the highest planet in this material world down to the lowest are places of misery. And Krishna, He created, He knows. We can try to change it, but Krishna created it this way. But one who takes shelter of me, one who surrenders to me, can go beyond it. This material nature is very difficult to overcome, but one who takes shelter to me can go beyond it by His grace. And that's faith. Somebody can pray for us, but still we're going to die. We may die today, we may die tomorrow, but we should know that those prayers of great souls are giving blessings to our soul. They may affect the external situation of our life, solve problems, give us prosperities. They may or may not. But in either case, we know with faith, and we're not discouraged. Not only in our life, but in the life of others who we're praying for and others are praying for, we're not discouraged. We could be perplexed. We could be heartbroken. But we're not discouraged. Because we know that the prayers of great souls and the invoking of prayers of great souls is always supremely blessing those who are being prayed for. So Brahma, he didn't understand what he could do about this situation. The sages, the rishis, everyone's coming to him to solve this problem. Because he's the most powerful person. He's the great-grandfather. Not just great in the sense of chronology, but he's great. And he's so learned. He's their guru. And they're all coming to him. And they're all depending on him. And he doesn't know what to do. It's beyond him. He didn't have the abilities to just fix this situation. So he's meditating on Krishna with prayer. Srila Prabhupada, he taught us how to chant the Mahamantra. The Mahamantra is an invocation of the names Hare, Krishna, Rama. 16 words, 32 syllables. The Maha Mantra includes all mantras. But Srila Prabhupada taught us to chant in a prayerful mood. My dear Sri Radha, my dear Sri Krishna, please engage me in your loving service. In whatever situation comes, how can I serve you? How can I please you? That is our mood when we're being absorbed in the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So in his perplexity, what does it mean that Brahma is not discouraged? He doesn't know what to do about it, but he takes shelter of Krishna. He surrenders to Krishna. He meditates on Krishna. That means he's not discouraged. He still has faith in Krishna. And in the coming verses, I'm going to give you a preview of tomorrow's verse. Because most likely, very few of you will be here for Srimad Bhagavatam class on Monday morning. O sinless Vidura, all of a sudden, while Brahma was engaged in thinking, that's what he was engaged in. He's Brahma. He's the creator. And now all he's doing is thinking. He doesn't know what else to do but think. He was thinking of Krishna. A small form of a boar came out of his nostril. The measurement of the creature was not more than the upper portion of a thumb. And this is how Lord Varaha, one of the prominent 10 avatars of Krishna, appears in this world. Keshavadrita Sukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hari Jaya Jagadisha Hari Jaya Jagadisha Hari. It's good thinking. Thank you. There's a beautiful place in Vrindavan. It is called upon as Varaha Ghat. How many have visited on pilgrimage Varaha Ghat? Please raise hands. May I share a story? Because through hearing, we are actually in the place. So if you actually attentively hear, if anyone ever asks you if you've been to Varaha Ghat, you can blissfully raise your hand with total honesty. So one day, Krishna was playing with cowherd boys and cows. Nearby, Srimati Radharani and her gopis were collecting water at the river Yamuna and filling their pots Krishna wanted to join them. So he told the cowherd boys that one of our cows has wandered away. So you stay here and I will go find the cow. Krishna went to Yamuna and he began to compliment the gopis that when you carry these water pots on your head, you are so graceful. It's such a beautiful sight to see how you're gracefully walking, balancing these water pots on your head. Gopis were so thrilled to hear Krishna's appreciation. They smiled. Krishna then said, "Even I carry vessels on my head." Gopis perplexed. I said, we have never seen you ever carrying water pots on your head. Has any of you ever seen a painting or a photo with Krishna carrying water pots on his head? Think about it. Gopis didn't either. They said, "We never saw you carrying water pots on your head. Why are you speaking these words?" Krishna replied, "Not only can I carry water pots on my head, but I have carried the entire planet Earth on my head." The gopis said, "We do not believe you." Krishna replied that I have carried on my head the earth with all of its oceans, all of its lakes, all of its rivers on my head. They said, "We still don't believe you." He said, "Have you not heard of my incarnation of Varaha? As Varaha, I balanced between my tusks the entire earth planet, with all the oceans and all the lakes and all the rivers and all the cities and all the towns and all the villages and all the forests and all the mountains and all living beings. I carried it all." You never heard of this? Sri Radharani, she said, "If this is true, then you show us this form of Lord Varaha." And Krishna suddenly disappeared. He was nowhere to be seen. A few moments later, the gopis were looking at each other and looking around, and they happened to see on the ground a little tiny boar the size of a thumb. That was quite sweet. Can you imagine it? They were fascinated. They gathered around and they stood close and they were all looking and at this little boar, and they were giggling and laughing and pointing to him. Suddenly the boar started growing and growing and growing and growing and growing until he actually filled the sky. But he was still standing in the same place. Krishna proclaimed to them, "Behold, behold my incarnation as Varaha. And then when he grew so big, he roared, and everything shook. Suddenly, this huge form of boar with his tusk, he plunged them into the earth. And the entire earth shook. Then he lifted the earth, and the entire earth planet came up. And the gopis are seeing this gigantic boar holding the entire planet on their tusks. And they were really confused. They were discussing with each other, are we standing on the planet that he's carrying? Or are we somewhere else watching? It was very confusing. And they were seeing him. Huge, huge form with actually beautiful lotus-like eyes. And he had a red complexion. You know how boars have hair? Very stiff hair. But it was so beautiful. And suddenly, right in front of their eyes, Varahadev's red complexion changed to the exact complexion of Krishna. Shama Sundar. He was still a boar, but he had Shama Sundar complexion. And then they were totally astonished. But the amazing thing is they were not experiencing Aishwarya Bhav. Because the gopis, the nature of the gopis' love for Krishna and the nature of Krishna's love for gopis, even when he manifested such an awesome form of the gigantic Varaha carrying the earth, they were still just seeing him as Krishna, playful cowherd boy, and that form was only increasing the sweetness of their conjugal loving rasas with Krishna. Didn't interfere, rather it nourished the sweetness of their love for Krishna. But it was quite perplexing. Suddenly, Varahadev totally disappeared. And everything was just like it was before he appeared, except the gopis looked down and they saw Krishna's tiny little lotus footprints. And next to Krishna's lotus footprints were massive hoof prints of Varahadev in the ground. Krishna was gone. And the gopis were just laughing and struck with wonder. They were chanting Krishna's glories and chanting Krishna's names. And with the water pots on their heads, they all returned to their homes. On the way, Krishna was back with the gopas, playing with them and the cows. And the gopis from a little distance, they saw Krishna playing. And Krishna looked at them and smiled. Nobody saw that except them. And they secretly smiled. And they just passed. And when they could not be heard by any of the cowherd boys, they all began to chant Krishna's holy names and Krishna's glories as they returned to their homes. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, close to Varaha Ghat in Vrindavan, which is in the old path of the Yamuna, which is today quite distant from where the Yamuna River is flowing, is the ashram of Gautam Rishi. And here in Maharashtra, Gautam Rishi is a very, very celebrated, worshipped acharya. In Nasik, Pantavati, his ashram was on the top of Brahmagiri. And it was Gautam Rishi from his ashram at Brahmagiri that he prayed. He performed austerities, he performed pujas, and he prayed for Mother Ganga to come to the earth. And she appeared as the Godavari River and flowed down, and just beneath the Brahmagiri is the Triambakeshwar temple. The same principle, the story that leads up to this. Gautam Rishi was quite perplexed about what to do, but he was not discouraged. There was an apparent disaster that happened in his ashram. It appeared that he accidentally killed a cow. And all the sages and rishis abandoned him because they didn't want to be in a place of such a sinful act. And he was told the only way to atone and sanctify his ashram again was for the Ganga to come. So it was all the Lord's trick for such a great sage to be praying for Krishna to appear in the form of Mother Ganga, to rescue, purify, and bless all of us and all the world. On the banks of Godavari River, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had that most historic discussion with Sri Ramananda Rai. And Srila Prabhupada also explains that his family is coming in the genealogical chronology coming from Gautam Rishi. He is in the Gautam Gotra. We all have a very special connection with Gautam Rishi through Srila Prabhupada. And there's also a story in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and in great elaboration in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the house of Murari Gupta. How many have you been to the house of Murari Gupta in Mayapur town? Okay, I'm going to test. Please raise both of your hands and say HariBol if you have been to Varaha Ghat. Couldn't hear you. If you have been to the Varaha Ghat on the bank of the Yamuna in Vrindavan today, please loudly chant HariBol. Now we will go to Murari Gupta's house. One day, Murari Gupta was doing puja in his deity room on the altar. He has a beautiful deity of Lord Vishnu, Still there, actually. He was performing his puja, and he had a little water pot. You know those water pots that you do use for puja. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to his house, came into his courtyard, entered the deity room, and he assumed the form of Varaha. And then he lifted that little pot between his tusks and brought it out of the deity room into the courtyard, and Lord Chaitanya, in the form of Varaha, was dancing with that little pot. It was actually representing the earth. And Murari Gupta in great wonder was seeing his beloved Lord Gauranga revealing such mercy upon him. Sometimes Lord Chaitanya would go down the streets and he would hear somebody singing about an incarnation like Varaha, and he would just assume that form and run to Murari Gupta's house and perform that leela. Parama Karuna Pahundui Jana Nitai Gaurachan Tava Avatara Sarasya Romani Kevalanan. Lord Chaitanya is the essence of all avatars, most merciful, and all avatars are included in him, as all avatars are included in Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. So when we come before Shri Radha Gopinath, there Gopinath is so sweetly gazing upon all the assembled devotees, playing upon his flute, inviting us back into his eternal loving pastimes. And Srimati Radharani, sometimes her hand is extended to bless all the devotees with her supreme mercy, compassion, and love. And in her form at Radha Gopinath Temple, on behalf of all the devotees, whatever love and sincerity and devotion we may have, in the form of a garland, she's offering to Krishna, to Gopinath. Srila Prabhupada explained several times that Krishna always is subordinate to the wish of Sri Radha. And when Sri Radha tells Krishna, because this devotee is serving my servants, this devotee is better than me. Please accept him, or please accept her. And when Sri Radharani speaks like this about us, Krishna accepts us. When we're serving the Vaishnavas, when we're serving Srila Prabhupada sincerely, how dear that is to Srimati Radharani. And then through Parampara, she's offering us to Krishna. That is Guru Parampara. That is the result of true, sincere Vaishnava Seva. In the all-powerful forms of Narasingha, Kurma, Parasuram, Varaha, Lord Ram. In our temple we have Hanumanji and Garudaji. Because they're seeing that we're hearing about Krishna with happiness, and we're chanting and dancing about Krishna with happiness. They're blessing us. They're not only worshiping the Lord, but they're blessing all of us. And Srila Prabhupada is present on his Vyasasan. and seeing us reciprocating with his mercy by assisting him in the great Guru mission of his Guru Maharaj, worshipping Shri Radha Gopinath, coming together as a united, loving community. Such blessings and grace and prayers are being bestowed upon us. This is our greatest fortune. This is our greatest aspiration. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. How many of you have been to Murari Gupta's house in Navadvip? You can tell the whole world. Is there any questions?
Maharaj, we are not a pure devotee. We will definitely get perplexed whenever the problems comes in our life. And sometimes what happens is, all the problems are coming from all the sides. Emotionally, somebody disturbs us and relationship issues comes up. We get so much disturbed that we don't know how to continue it out. And that completely disturbs our consciousness so much that we don't remain a normal person. Physically, some problem comes up so much that we could not continue the basic Krishna consciousness also at that time. Physical problems comes up, and that problem, there is no solution for that problems also. We just have to tolerate it out and tolerate it out. Physical problems are there, emotional problems are there, spiritual problems also. The mind is completely giving us so much disturbance that we get so much carried away with our anarthas, and that anarthas that pop up so much that we are finding it extremely difficult to subdue it out. And all the problems comes at a time. Emotionally, spiritually, everything comes at a time. And at that time, the Maya in the form of mind is giving us a conviction. She's trying to convince us this is all because of all the spiritual life. Because you are spending lots and lots of time in chanting, reading, and hearing, and associating, it is better that you subdued it out. And if you subdued it out, everything will become normal. And because we are having pressure from all the sides, we sometimes get succumbed to that effort or what Maya is telling us. And the biggest problem that I don't know about other people, but I get it, Maharaj. Sometimes we get subdued, we become a little bit loose in our Krishna consciousness because we feel it, I have to give some time over here, this. At that time, what happens is, everything becomes very nice. Everything becomes very nice at that time. At that time, our conviction becomes very strong. This is all because I was not practical and I was getting carried away with all other things, and that's why my spiritual life was little bit, I became impractical, I have to be matured enough, these, all those thoughts are coming. And one mistake, we become loose. We just compromise our Krishna consciousness and we become loose. And Maharaj, I can tell you, little bit of negligence in Krishna consciousness, that may go down and down and down. And it is extremely difficult to come up again. Now what happens is, Maharaj, if we go down, it becomes extremely difficult again to come up. And one mistake, you go down, and then to again come back on the normal Krishna consciousness is extremely difficult. And we miss the human form of life. And we don't like to associate with the devotees. We don't like to chant. We don't like to be with the devotees. We don't like to hear everything. Now, I just wanted to know very clearly in that situation, when all these problems are there together, what is the most important thing that we have to do it in our life, that at least we maintain our spiritual equilibrium and don't go down at all, so that again we have to come up in that situation and become normal. What is the one thing that we have to take it so seriously, that hell or heaven, whatever happens, I will hang on to that thing so that my spiritual life doesn't get disturbed and I don't get succumb to Maya's offer, and my human form of life should not be wasted. Because the biggest fear that happens is, Maharaj, that when this thing happens in our life, that fear is there that I may miss the bus of Krishna consciousness. I will go away from Krishna consciousness. Again, I have to go in this mother's womb. Again, all this birth, death, old age, disease. Again, the cycle of all these things happens just because all the problems came. And we are not a pure devotee. We are not. We get perplexed, Maharaj. So what is the thing that we have to do in that situation, that under any circumstances we maintain our Krishna consciousness in that very critical juncture of our human form of life?
Did you hear the answer? Your questions are among the best Bhagavad Gita classes. Krishna is our only shelter. Through the various experiences we have in this world, through our own strengths and our own weaknesses, through our own successes, our own failures, through our own shortcomings. Material energy is, Maya is all-powerful. Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vamye prapadyante maya me tatarandite. This material nature is very powerful. You have been just describing some of the powers of material nature and how they affect us and how they can illusion us and how they can distract us. We need, in whatever situation, we need to take shelter of Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in one beautiful song, he writes that I have seen and considered everything within all the 14 worlds. And my conclusion is, Krishna, without your shelter, nothing could save me. So we know this. And in order to seek shelter in either very prosperous situations that are distractions or very devastating situations which are distractions, and they're both going to come, we require faith. Shraddha. Faith comes by associating and hearing in the association of devotees. So we need each other. We need Vaishnava association. Srila Prabhupada has said, one who thinks that they could become Krishna conscious outside of the association of devotees is in illusion. So we need that. These temples are there for this purpose. Srila Prabhupada's books are there for that purpose. to hear in the association of devotees through reading, through chanting, through serving together. This is where our shelter is. But then we must seek the shelter. And in that association of hearing and chanting and association, we have that faith. So even if we are perplexed, we're not discouraged. Discouraged means we don't just give up. We know that Krishna's there. We know that Krishna's there in every situation. And when things are falling apart, is it Krishna we want, or just the things that are falling apart to be restored? Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was very perplexed. But Krishna spoke to him so that he would not be discouraged from taking shelter of Krishna and trying his very best. Krishna tells Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, whether you're victorious or whether you're losing, it really doesn't matter. You just try your best. Try your best to serve me. Sarva dharman parityasam mamekam sharanam. Abandon all varieties of dharma and just surrender to me. Krishna takes care of us. That's our hope. That's our life. And we must keep that always in the forefront in whatever happens. It's Krishna's promise. If we just surrender to him, if we just take shelter of him, we're just trying to please him. And we always keep that as the ultimate goal, because nothing and no one can actually take that away from us. But if we're inattentive or insincere, we could let go of it. But however many times we let go of it, Krishna's still there. And our faith and our bhakti can be restored if we seek shelter. So our sadhana, our association, the steadiness of our service is actually the beautiful form of the deities. It's the way that Krishna is manifesting to give us shelter. Perplexities will be there. Whether we're Brahma or a little ant, this material world is perplexed. Maya is very strong. Maya yakshena prakriti. But Maya is under Krishna's subordinate control. And if we take shelter of Krishna, Krishna will protect us. Krishna will restore us. Krishna will revive us. Krishna will bless us. Does that answer your question? The problem with Ananda Vrindavan Prabhu's question is the answers are never as interesting as the question is. Thank you very much. But we must be very alert. We must be very careful. Srila Prabhupada warned his devotees, your problem is you are not enough afraid of Maya. Maya is there all around us. We do need to be aware. We do need to be alert. You're on an airplane and there's huge turbulence. You feel a great need to put on your safety belt. But actually that could happen at any moment. So when we understand that we need Krishna's protection in every situation of life, that's actual knowledge. That's actually intelligence. Not just memorizing verses, not just philosophically defeating people, but real intelligence and knowledge is knowing that at every moment I need Krishna's shelter. That's Bhagavad Gita. That's Srimad Bhagavatam. That's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's the goal of life and the way to achieve the goal of life. To pass through the perplexities of this world and know with faith that Krishna's my shelter. And Krishna's in my heart, in his holy names, in the deities, in the hearts of the Vaishnavas, always there to give me shelter. Thank you very much. I will return in 1 minute.
HariBol.
You're coming here, huh? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Can we have your attention, please, just for a few minutes? So, on this very wonderful occasion and very happy atmosphere, it's a very festive and joyous environment. We have a very pleasant announcement to make. So, as per how, a perfect example of how ISKCON has been founded by Srila Prabhupada, and under his instructions, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj has, over the last 30 years, expanded in so many areas of Maharashtra. So today it's a classic example of how senior devotees in Miraj and senior devotees in Kolhapur, who were initiated by His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, their children, who are also initiated by Radhanath Maharaj, are coming together to seek the blessings of all present here, and so that they can go ahead together in service. So, may I ask Varat Gaurang Prabhu to please stand up. Varat Gaurang Prabhu is the son of Veer Bahu Prabhu and Shama Priya Mataji, who are in Miraj for the last 24 years. They're leaders there, they're part of the Temple Management Council, and they have been doing very steady, amazing service there. And may I ask Haripriya Devi to stand up. Haripriya Devi is the daughter of Mahanidhi Prabhu and Amal Gopi Mataji, who are now in Kolhapur for the last 24 years. Though Amal Gopi Mataji is a product of Radha Gopinath Mandir, she did a graduation and post-graduation in medical studies from Mumbai. And in her footsteps, her daughter Haripriya has also just successfully completed her BDS, and she's doing her internship. So both these very wonderful, serious and sincere devotees have come here today specially to really seek the blessings of Shri Radha Gopinath Ji and His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, but also all of us present here. So let us loudly from the bottom of our hearts give our blessings by chanting in our traditional style 3 times. HariBol, HariBol, HariBol. Hare Krishna.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Satarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, much louder. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Srimad Sudana Gopal Govinda Ram Srimad Sudana Gopal Govinda Ram Srimad Sudana Vidhari Gopinath Madana Maha Vidhari Gopinath Madana Maha Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita Adi Guru Vaishnava Bhagavad Gita Adi Guru Vaishnava Bhagavad Gita Sri Rupa Sanatana Patha Raghunatha Sri Rupa Sanatana Patha Raghunatha Sri Rupa Sanatana Patha Raghunatha Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Haraya Namah, Krishna Yadavaya Namah. Hari Haraya Namah, Krishna Yadavaya Namah. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur HariBol, HariBol. Gaur Premanandi, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jai Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Sri Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Thank you very much.